Hello everyone, I would like to show you a game, a very interesting one. The game was played between Magnus Carlsen and Nepomniachtchi in World Championship match 2021. This was game 6 and they had 5 draws before this game. In this game there was many impressive parts. There was fighting chess, time scrambles, and very impressive endgame technique. Let's look at the game. d4, knight f6, knight f3, d5, g3, e6, bishop g2, bishop e7, castling, castling. By the way, this is the longest chess game ever in World Championship matches, so we are not going to check every details in the opening phase. b3, quite rare line. c5, takes, c4, d takes c4, and queen c2. This pawn is pinned, so black can't take on b3. Okay, black played queen e7, and this was novelty at the time. And here white played knight d2, knight c6, and then knight takes c4. Here black played b5, knight ce5, and knight b4. This diagonal looks quite threatening, but black has time to develop pieces, and position is quite equal. Bishop b7 and a3. Knight c6, knight d3, bishop b6, and again we are in equal position. Bishop g5, rook d8, and bishop takes on f6. And here I think this is the first position where we can see that also black is playing for a win, because he takes with pawn and keeps queen on the board. Rook c1, knight d4, takes, queen a2. And here it looks like that black's position is a little bit more active, and white has to be careful. Takes, check, king g1, and queen e4. And black queen and bishop are very active. The downside in black's position is somewhat weaker pawn structure on the king's side. Queen c2, a5, rook d1, king g7, rook d2, and here is the first critical moment. In the game, black played rook c8, and there was different opinions about the decision. Some spectators said that this is a wrong idea, or some said that this is the right idea, because after this move white has to take here, or you can say also that white can take and get 2 rooks against queen. And there was high quality commentators like Caruana and Svidler, Kramnik, Kasparov, Nakamura, which had different opinions about the decision. If I remember correctly, Nakamura and Kasparov said that usually this kind of position is more risky for white, who plays with two rooks, and Sweetler and Kramnik think opposite, and they thought that queen with queen, black can get in trouble in some cases. Caruana was thinking that it depends on position, and I think in the press conference after this game, Carlsen said that he thought that he thinks that this kind of position is more risky for queen, and Nepomniachtchi thought that it's more risky for two rooks. Okay, who knows? Computer says that this position is totally equal, and now we can look at how game went. Queen d5, b4, and here again I think it's easy to see that black is also playing for win by choosing a4, because he could take there. Actually, I really like black's idea here, because in some cases queen can collect this pawn, and also bishop can collect it if, for example, pawn goes to e3, then maybe bishop b2 is possible, because knight can't take it, rook is hanging, and if rook takes, then knight is hanging. So in future black can have some chances. Play went e3, and now this could be an option, but black played bishop e4, e5, and here white played h4, and now we can think that Carlsen was also playing for win here, because if white chooses to play rook c5, this position is going to get drawish after rook takes b5, and actually have to take here first, because after rook takes b5, black can give a check, and then bishop c3, and there is no good square for rook, because knight is also hanging. So first white has to take on e5, and then take on b5, and now this is quite equal. If a white wants to secure a draw, he can put rooks on a file and take this pawn away, and then there is of course very good chances to get draw by perpetual check, but if black does something wrong, white can put rooks on 7th rank and collect those pawns one by one, because queen and king cannot save those against rooks. Okay, but in the game Carlsen played h4, and then black played h5, king h2, and now black played bishop b2. I think there was already some kind of time trouble, and now rook goes to c5, queen d6, and here white didn't saw the possibility to trap this bishop, and this could be a very good choice for white, because now bishop can't take this, knight jumps to f4, and then Yeah, actually, in this line, this bishop is not going to get trapped, but white can launch a very strong attack with 2 rooks and knight, and this is a very good example that these passed pawns are not good enough against white's threats, and now white can force checkmate if king goes to h6. Something like this can easily happen in many lines, and also if king goes to the back rank, there is well-known back rank issues like this way. If bishop goes to e5, then bishop is trapped. Have to go a1, and then knight c5 is one option, or maybe knight f2. Queen has to go somewhere, and now there is no way to prevent this threat. Okay, here Carlsen played rook d1, and again black is a little bit better here, because black is threatening to take b4 now. Carlsen took on b5, queen d7, and now rook is hanging, so have to be very careful. At this point, I remember that the time trouble was already present, and probably Carlsen had something like 1 minute, and Nepomniachtchi something like 3 minutes. Here, I remember that I was very surprised that why not just taking pawn, because this looks very easy way to play. For example, if white takes on h5, this pawn is too strong, and if white plays something like this, white's pieces are very passive, like bishop e7, and now it's quite clear that this pawn is alive, and white can't take it. So there is chances to create some threats, but okay, if white plays like this, white might hold, but still very awkward position for white. In the game, black played e5, and I was watching that stream, and I remember that this was very tense moments, and that their fighting spirit was very easy to see that both tried to win this game very hardly. Rook c2, and now again bishop b4 is a good option, but somehow queen d5 was played. Rook d2, queen b3, rook a1, a2, and now black should play something else than e4, because after e4 white is clearly better, but this position is equal according to the computer. But now the endgame phase is starting, where Carlsen's excellent endgame technique is present. Queen takes b4, and now rook here could be the most precise move here in the game. White took here, and this was the 14th move, and now they got extra time, but now the position is equal again, because white could play this way and then get this kind of technical position. This is not the easiest one. It's very hard to find precise moves, and we are not going in details in this video, but the idea is to take this f5 pawn and prevent perpetual check, which can happen if queen takes f2. For example, if this rook is not guarding f2 pawn, or the other rook is not guarding d1 square. There's also some ideas for black to play f4 and then e3 if e takes f4, and then there is some perpetual checks if rooks are in wrong squares. But according to the computer, this is winning for white. Anyway, in this game this happened, and then we are again in equal position. And this game could end a draw if black would keep this pawn alive, but somehow black tried more. And this is a critical moment. Actually here black should just move king back and forth, and maybe there is no way to progress. But here black chooses to trade these pawns, but then white's rooks are free to go for those black pawns, and black's position is much weaker in pawn structure wise. Maybe black's idea was h4 here, but after rook here h4 is not possible, because after h4 white can play knight b3 and take this with check, and then everything goes well for white. Knight and two rooks are going to win those pawns, or even create some checkmate ideas. Okay, game went this way and by the way, this is equal still, but white's position is progressing, at least somewhat, but there is weak pawns, and Carlsen plays this very practical and technical way. And actually here there's many moves that black can play, but in some point there is only one move for black to save the game. For example, here black has to play this move and this move, and now white plays rook takes f5, and here black tries to take e3, and now we can see that Carlsen is playing for win. He took on f7 and went for this kind of ending, which is equal, but it's easy to see that only white can create chances if somehow this pawn on e4 can go forward without giving chance to make a perpetual check. Okay, and now again we are playing back and forth, or white is slowly progressing maybe. And I think they were, at least Black was already time trouble again, and in this time it was that kind of time trouble that there is no extra time after move something, because it's this is already, they have played already over 100 moves, and I think the increment was something like 1 minute or 30 seconds per move at this point, and without any extra minutes. Okay, now we have another critical moment, and the computer says this h4 is the best move here, and I don't think it's right opinion if we think human chess. When humans play, it's a different thing, and it's much harder to keep a draw when this pawn disappears, because after this pawn trade, white can easily play for win without any risk. There is no counter chances for black, and that's why, for example, queen h1 is a better option, because white can't really win this pawn, and if white does something like it did in the game, there is some chances to take this pawn, and then suddenly black can have something. But after this h4, white can easily try to make a progress, but okay, this position is equal, but as we can see later on, it's very hard to prevent white's play. And now this is the a very impressive part of this game, how Magnus Carlsen played this ending, slowly progressing, and here the last critical moment in this game. It's very hard to see why this queen e6 is a losing move, which was played in the game. Black should play queen c2 or queen b1, but still, according to the computer, white has a slight edge and maybe can make a progress. Okay, in the game, queen e6 happened, and king h4, and now there is no way to prevent what happened in the game. Now e6, and black can take, because queen and king is in the fork after queen takes f5, knight g7, and that's why black played queen g6, rook f7, and now again, if queen takes here, check, and this pawn ending is of course winning for white, like this way, and pawn will promote. In the game, black tried king d8, but f5, queen here, and knight g7, and then there is no way to prevent this pawn advantage, and king can escape from checks quite easily, and that was the end of the story. Very interesting one. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Thanks for watching.